Hey man,
Yo,
they have the saying of like what is it like the 100 monkey syndrome or something like that. Anybody know what I'm
If you,
talking about?
yeah, I know what you mean. Like the 100 monkeys locked in a room with typewriters, so it eventually makes Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's like, but like it was something like
what a
it was
wild
actually in acting
statement.
school. I gotta look this up, but it was something like if
You haven't met a monkey in your life if you believe that.
It's Johnny Late Night! And now here's your host, Johnny Rogers!
Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 58 of the Johnny Rogers Show. I'm so happy to be back. I took a couple weeks off. I know I had a podcast last week, but I took 2 off before that. I just needed to focus, I guess, more on work. And also, it allowed me to step back a little bit from the podcast and look at it with new eyes. Before, I was doing this long, scripted intro where I was just reading out the biography of the guest that I was going to have on. And I do think that I should still do that. Part of me likes that intro where you really get to know who the person is before they come on the show. But I also like this little free-form thinking moment where I can just sort of talk to whoever's watching this podcast or clicking on this video. I appreciate you as always. But on this episode, I'm doing a part 2 to the Four Northmen. It's been a long time since I got to hang out with my buddy Sean Sirianni from the Creative Imbalance, Jared Bronstein, and Phatriik. I had Phatriik's brother on recently as well too, so it was cool to kind of talk about that for a little bit. We also talk about the rap battle that I went to with Sean, which was absolutely insane. I mean, we cover that at length, and then even after we shut off the podcast, we stayed and chatted for a little bit too. So it's always a fun time hanging out with these guys, and I hope to do more episodes. We're thinking about possibly doing, I don't know, a gaming episode. So leave me a comment down below with a game that you'd like us to all cross-platform play on. We were thinking either Fortnite or Fall Guys. Drop me a comment down below. Maybe there's even a game that we're not even thinking about. I mean, I think it was Phatriik had the idea of doing a horror game, so I was totally down with that as well. Leave a comment, but without any further delay, just give it up for part 2 of the Four Northmen.
Should we put money on the glasses or no glasses? I'm gonna say no.
No, I think it's a persona. You got to keep the glasses now for all of them. Really commit.
There you go.
Yeah. We were betting glasses or no glasses. Wow.
Yeah, bro, you gotta tilt your
going on,
camera
boys?
down a bit. Yeah, let's get all you in frame. Beauty. That's that shit. Nice. And we're already recording. All right, Pat, I was gonna say I'm gonna drop the Twitch link because we stream live to Twitch now.
All sick.
We, the company of Johnny Rogers, we.
Me and my team, baby.
I
always do that
I
too
speak
with,
about myself like I'm a
balance.
company.
He's got the team
do
hard at
this.
work.
I'm like, we do this now.
Yeah, I do that with my podcast when I'm booking guests through publicists. I always use the word "we." It's just fucking me. It just sounds better. Like I got a little team.
It sounds so
I'm a
much
fraud.
better.
When you don't want to do something, you can just be like, "Oh yeah, the team is really stretched out right now, dude."
Yeah. I don't know what to do. They're slacking.
You know what's so funny about just that whole idea of saying we to brand yourself as a better business? I learned about this this guy who started he just made rims for tires. That was this whole plant. That's what they did. And he had it stationed in Mississauga, and he had a really hard time getting suppliers. They just no one would really take him seriously. And then he thought, I wonder if it's because they don't have any idea what Mississauga is. And so he realized that if he moved his company just literally down the street where it would be a Toronto postal code, that maybe that would help. And he took that risk, moved it all down the street to a different factory where it's Toronto postal code. And then all of a sudden all these offers are flying in because they're like, oh, you're from Toronto. Oh, you're based in Toronto. That's huge. Good for you.
The perception.
So weird.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, a little thing like that. Just something so simple. He's missing out on all these deals. Okay, I got the video link. We're dropping it in the chat. Again,
Just,
excuse me to the audience. Welcome to the Johnny Rogers Show. There's probably been an intro here for YouTube or whatever. This is the Four Northmen. We've got Jared Bronstein. Everybody say what's up, Jared.
What's up?
You got Sean Sirianni from the Creative Imbalance.
brah, brah, brah.
And my man in Thug Life classes, Phatriik.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's Johnny and friends.
Yeah,
Hell
exactly.
yeah.
I just had Pat's brother on too.
No way. I know.
Yeah.
How old's your brother?
He's got like 6 years on me, so let's say late 30s. I don't want to call him out.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Ooh.
Let's say late 30s.
I was gonna say, like, Johnny, you got the hat, you got the glasses. Sean, you got the hair. I'm like, I gotta do something, but I don't want to put this hood up because
You're the clean cut guy. We need one.
You
of
know,
them.
but I have the hood on. I don't know if I want that. You know.
You need
people
like
to
a
stick
grill.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I need a grill. That's what I gotta get. I'll get like some tin foil from the kitchen. And I'll just put it on the front.
Oh my god.
Yeah, grill. Dude, first thing that I gotta talk about is Sean rolled through Ottawa, and I had never had so much fun at that.
Man.
He took me to a rap battle show. My God, Pat, if you ever get the chance, and Jared, if there's a rap battle show in Toronto, go. You will have the greatest time.
There's a really good one happening next week, but I'm so happy. Like I got to catch up with you and everything too. Even like they got me a little hotel room, and like Johnny came by earlier. We had some shots and a beer. And, like we pretty much had to chug these down because I had to go quote unquote work. And yeah, I'm so happy you had a great time too. Even like I know you rolled out alone too, and like there was times I was busy. I'm like, oh, I wonder how Johnny's doing. I look over my shoulder, and you're just like mingling in like circles of people you just met like 5 minutes ago too. So that made me really happy that you were having just a great time. But
dude, I was lit.
yeah. Beyond the battles itself, it's just like the craziest social scene of just debauchery and everything. Yeah, and it's like a party, but then we take breaks and like insult each other for sport, and it's
that's exactly the best way to describe it. Because when you watch rap battle on YouTube, you're watching these like one-on-one, like you're watching each of the battles, and you're like, man, to be at this would be like crazy tense. Like I picture it was like dangerous because it's like.
Yeah,
you just see like all this aggression one after another, and then you go there and like the people that are battling each other are like like they've got their arm around each other and they're like laughing and shit. And then as soon as Sean pulls up with the camera and does that crazy intro where he's like, "Let's get started," and you're like, "Oh my god!" Now we're all of a sudden at this like fight, and these two people who were just like side by side are like, "Yo, this is why you're motherfucker," you know what I mean? You're like, "Holy shit." But then as soon as the camera goes off, everybody's like, "Yo, let's fucking party." It's
so crazy.
Wow.
It's so fascinating. I was like, "Damn, this is a good time."
I compare it to a lot to like pro like boxing or MMA to like a lot of people like they're just in it for the sport. Like once in a while there's real beef and stuff, which also makes it interesting, but a lot of it too, like you can even like go to like all these different Facebook groups of the different leagues, and a lot of them are like talking shit, like even coming up to it like for promo, almost like Conor McGregor style, and like making memes of each other. But then you're at the event and they finally battle too, and it's like they're hugging, having a drink after, and it's interesting. I'm glad you got to check out the scene, and even more glad you really enjoyed it as well.
So it's like a respect thing, yeah. Like it's like there's mutual respect almost.
Oh hell yeah! For the most of it, once in a while, it's like I don't know, egos get out of control, but that's what that needs. I think one thing.
Sorry,
go ahead.
So,
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Canadian standoff, bro. This is all you. Go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like a lot of people know I've been doing this for years, like filming this. And one moment that kind of like hit me was like having Johnny there, who's like kind of an outsider of the scene, like step in the scene and enjoy it. And there's like one part of the night you pull me aside and you're like, man, I see why you do this. Like, and that almost gave me a reminder of like, because sometimes I get so like busy in work mode, even though it is fun. Like,
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of shit. Like,
I
a lot
like
of it's, like-
convinced you though to like party a little more, which was like bad on my part. I kept forgetting that he's like there to work. I thought we were just like hanging out. I keep like you know what you mean, like you kind of lose that balance in your head of like boundary almost. Someone's like, hey, you can come with me to this work thing, but like I have to do this job that I was paid for. But like you're in such a party environment that you kind of lose track of that. And then it was the best when you were like, yo, this just feels like the night to get fucked up. Like there was just like a feeling about it. Like you're like, some of the battles are gonna be like not the greatest thing you've ever seen, but it's gonna be the greatest thing you've ever seen because it's just such a party.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, plus like shout outs to CRB for having me out. It was the first time I worked with that league, and I'm coming back in November again, Johnny. And
I'm burning your spot. I'm like, they fucking suck.
Yeah. No, it's all good, but it's like even like for them to just put me up in a hotel, like beyond getting me the gig and stuff. Again, like you mentioned, like I said, like this is the night to get fucked up. I'm just out of town and I'm like, let's go. I love that feeling.
So
you got a new place? Sorry, I cut you off there.
Check it out. It's pretty sweet, right? We got this whole room just for the PCs. That's Steph's computer over there. It's pretty sweet. It's a sick setup, dude. I'm really happy here.
Yeah,
Congrats,
two rooms is the move, eh?
Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's I mean, it's like I can't overemphasize how much better it is. Like, you know, once I got settled in here, I really realized how small my old place was. And how dark it was. Actually, there's a lot of big windows here, a lot of natural light and stuff. So I mean, I got the blinds closed in the games room, but in the rest of the place, especially in the morning, it's beauty.
Nice. Are you still in Toronto or did you move?
Yeah, I'm just up in the north end now. I live like near Shepherd Station.
Cool.
Still on the
I was
line.
gonna say, I was gonna be like, whereabouts? And I was like, wait, do I want to like dog someone on the podcast? Oh,
Yeah.
I had that thought beforehand too.
You.
I was like, I'm gonna make Patrick dox himself. Yeah. So where you living at?
Let me give you my specific address and my phone number.
Yo, this new postal code is great. Listen to this.
Yeah, it's so easy to remember.
A6.
But yeah, it's sweet, dude. It's sweet. Thanks for asking.
Jared, what's up? What have you been doing?
Yeah. So I was gonna ask, don't worry about me. I was gonna ask about you guys. When you guys were at the rap battle, were we just drinking or what was going on? We're doing some extracurricular stuff.
Yeah, a little mescaline, a little hashish. No, I'm just kidding.
Meth.
I don't usually like mixing weed with alcohol because it usually ends very poorly. But I had a great time. I smoked a joint before, and then Sean and I were doing shots at the hotel with like, dude, that beer. What was that beer that you got? Like,
It was called a Landshark.
do you like that beer?
I liked it. Did you like it? It sounds like you didn't like it.
I don't think so.
Let me see.
I was drinking it because I was
some
like,
left
it's
over.
beer. I'm not gonna like.
Yeah, it was just
you know.
like a lager. Where's it brewed?
It reminded me of like a watered down Mike's Hard Lemonade. I don't know.
Oh, really? No,
I'm just roasting for the sake of roasting right now.
Yeah,
but
do it.
it's content, right?
Yeah.
These are my real.
There goes my
That'll-
Landshark sponsorship.
That'll make
I'm
a
trying
good
to see where it's brewed.
I'm just burning all your bridges.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were doing some shots too, and you were saying you're not really like a shot guy, which you.
No, I don't usually like taking shots too, but again, I was like, this felt like the night to do that stuff.
Yeah,
And
there was
then
something
at
in
the
there.
dude, there was something like I gotta remember their names. There was one guy there that I was like, this guy's fucking awesome. He just pulled up out of nowhere. Everyone kind of like respected him. He had like a ball cap on, Yankees logo on the front, and he's just talking mad shit. And I find out later that he's Italian, and I'm like, okay, makes sense. But like,
So it was probably Pepe, right? The guy who was like heckling in my ear and shit.
Yeah.
Boy,
Pepe.
yeah, I love. Yeah, shout out to Pepe. Beast mode battles. I actually got his like. That was him just chilling. I got to send you some of his battles. He's
Bro.
fucking insane.
I love
he was
Sean
just
immediately know who's he talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you know, man. He was just casually like crazy. Like he was so cool about it.
Yeah.
How crazy he was being. He'd be like they're battling, and he's just like, nah, it sucks.
Yeah. He just like kind of heckles the undercard,
He just
but it's
heckles them, and it's so great.
but like the way he does it is like really funny. If like somebody else was doing it and
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
just like interrupting in a way, I think like people would put a stop to that. But because it like actually like him doing that makes these battles better.
Because he because he's a battler, right? That's what you
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
So like he'll do like they'll say a statement in their bar, and then he'll like question that, like, oh, is that how you really feel? Like he'll add to it, you know what I mean? And then that kind of gets everyone to like crack for a second.
Yeah.
Right.
That's almost.
Or I
similar
forget,
to,
one
like, a
person said
heckler at a
something
comedy
like-
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a comedian was heckling at a comedy show, it'd be a good heckler.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like there's no malice behind it.
Somebody did that. There was somebody where it was like I think it was Rory Scoville and this other comedian. They did it on purpose, where they put Rory in the audience. Or no, Rory was on stage, and they put like another professional comedian in the audience, and they would do this like every night at shows, where the real comedian would start heckling, and Rory would go, "You think this is so easy? Then you come up here and do it." And then the guy comes up and just crushes, because he's like a 15-year veteran, and the
Oh my
crowd's
God.
like, "Holy shit, this guy's amazing!"
That's fucking fire.
Very good stick.
Like
Very
that's
funny.
a good. If you were like a traveling duo, like that would be the move.
Yeah.
You each reverse roles, so each person gets like to do material that night, and then that person's the plant, and you do it from town to town.
Yeah, you start a fake fight. Oh, you think you could do this? And just
Everyone's
cool
like, every
little
time they
move.
come through to town, though, there's a heckler. I don't know if I want to go to that show. Seems dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of comedy, Johnny, what's going on? How's the comedy going?
Dude, I haven't been doing fucking like barely any comedy in this city. Mainly because I was planning a comedy show that I was like hosting.
Yeah.
So I was like doing all the legwork to go into that, which was like a great show, and it means I want to like I think I'm at the point now where I just have to produce my own shows, because there's like shows that I can get on here in Ottawa, and like they're good. Some of them are like way out of town, and I don't really have like transportation to get to them per se. But like most of the other shows that I could get on are just open mics, which are fine if I need to work out new material, but like I'm trying to build an hour, so I need to be able to do like 30 minutes of time on a show, or even 20 minutes of time on a show, and I don't really see those opportunities here. So like I sold out that first show that was for the charity, so I'm like, I should just run like a monthly, or start a monthly show where it's just me hosting the show, have a bunch of comedians on, and just kind of create that own opportunity. But I'm so focused right now with work, because I just started like I am officially the distribution manager for Paradigm Studios.
Wow.
Nice.
And
Congrats,
we're about to
buddy.
be, that's under the Goalcast umbrella, so it's like,
Wow.
yeah, I'm psyched. They just actually I can announce this too. They made like, I think they're in like the top 5 like best employers in like North America or something, like best companies to work for. They won some like award for that. I'm like, sick.
What a nice change.
Yeah.
I look who's in the room. It's an inside joke.
I'm using the Twitch chat right now.
One of us is gonna say it, so
It was gonna come up eventually.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey,
Yeah,
it
but-
had its benefits, right? It's how we all met. Well, except for Patrick.
and- And that's perfect, man. For you, especially with your experience too. You're used to managing like big like channels with, you're so savvy with like the online content, whether it's just dealing with algorithms and stuff. And like Goalcast, they're huge. They're like one of the biggest in the North America, as I know of. So good for you, man.
It's cool. It's a cool
Fucking
company
proud of you.
culture. But like, I'm not in a officially, because I have this like 3-month kind of buffer period where they're like, set your goals and kind of show us what you can do. But I've never worked for a company as well that has like they have a whole department that's just about like taking care of their employees. Like they have like life coaches that you can book sessions with, and like movie producers who have done like crazy stuff that you can book sessions with, and it's all covered. Like I just had like one of their life coaches just like set up an appointment with me, Jason Goldberg. Shout out Jason, go follow him on Instagram. But yeah, he just booked a 45-minute session with me because he was like, he just saw that I'm a new employee. I didn't even like seek it out, and it was like the most eye-opening 45 minutes I've ever like had, where he's like, this is basically like therapy. None of this goes out of here. Nobody has to know about like what's wrong or whatever. I don't tell anyone, even who I'm meeting with. Like unload that and just let me like kind of help you with where you're like struggling, where there might be, because the biggest thing with like working from home is like separating that work from being at home, right?
Yeah.
Because your work is always like 5 feet away from you at all times. And there's never not work to be done. There's always something that you can tell yourself, oh, I need to do this, or I should do that.
Yeah.
And he was like the biggest thing to he called it like attention runoff, where you've put like 8 hours of attention, let's say, into your work. And then when you shut down the computer even and you leave the office, you're still kind of thinking about work because you've been thinking about it for 8 hours. So there's this runoff. But what we do is we try to engage with the new activity right away. And we find that we can't focus on that activity. It's because your brain is still kind of computing the information from what you were just focused on. So he's like, the best thing to do is just like signal some way for your brain and your body to realize like that part of the day is done now. Like whether that's like putting on, if you're wearing sweatpants all day, putting on jeans, or going for a 20-minute walk, do 10 minutes of meditation, like watch 30 minutes of Netflix, like just something to split up that time. And then you can apply 100% of your focus onto the next thing. And I was like, yo, it seems so simple, but if somebody didn't say it, you wouldn't think to do it, you know?
You just,
Yeah, a lot of people
makes
get
so much
caught up in the
sense.
grind, and that'll fucking kill you, man. Like seriously, you feel like, I don't know, because with content creation or anything like that, there's an infinite amount of work to do at all times. So it's so important to just find something to shut off. And even if you're overwhelmed and you're like, oh, I got all this stuff to do, like I've learned, like with my experience of hitting a wall and burning myself out a million times, sometimes taking a step back from everything is the best way to even step forward. Like you could at the moment you might be thinking that's unproductive, but just taking care of yourself and like even taking a few days and then getting back into it, you'll realize like how much better you can even perform from like just having like a fresh mind and soul and everything from just simply taking care of yourself. Where I don't know, I find like a lot of people who get in that content creation grind, they tend to, like, if they really care about it, they always feel like it's never enough, you know, like we could keep going and going and going and going. And like I was feeling like that this Monday, you know, and it's even though I say shit like that, and I've been preaching that on like my podcast for like years too, like I still fucking slip without like the reminder, you know. So.
Yeah, I think we all fall victim to it, dude. It's very easy to burn yourself out and not realize you're doing it until you're like completely fucking burnt out and you're like, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
Yeah,
it's happened to me so many times, dude. Look
you
at my
start
YouTube
hating
channel,
what you
man.
love.
I've done every type of YouTube channel you can, and I still don't do it consistently.
Because you don't actually like it, man. That's the thing.
Like,
I realized
the
is you have to be obsessed.
reaction shit. Yeah, the reaction shit, the news. I'm doing the podcast, my brother. I really just do that. Not for him. I definitely enjoy it. Like I have fun, you know, talking to people. But like I said, I don't want to post anything. I just want to show up and that's it. It's all like I don't care about the process of uploading this and that. So I don't know, but maybe down the line I will again. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
it seems like you're just like a solid host, you know, and maybe like somebody with your brother and stuff, like you can form that team and do it that way, you know, because some people are more like I I meet a lot of people who are interested in the off-camera stuff.
Bro, send them my way.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna keep this in mind now too.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that shit. Like because I do it all for just the podcast, but now I do it for work as well too. So I love just like inputting everything into that back end and then like figuring out, okay, I'm gonna have a card here, an end screen here, and I'm gonna put a mid-roll ad right before she says this so that it cuts off at the right time, and then schedule, and I'm like, like it's done. Like, send it out. As I choke on my spit. There goes my CPMs. I just keep throwing out the terms. Patrick's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Like, what
It's so
now?
funny because I just listened to Mr. Beast on Flagrant 2, and every time that they were talking about something, Mr. Beast would just interrupt the conversation and goes, you just fucked your retention. Like, there it goes. And Andrew's like, what'd I do? He's like, you sneezed.
Yeah.
5 people left this video. It's like, you don't realize how fickle it can be. Oh, there was one thing too that I was off of those thoughts of like burning out is like the idea of not taking your thoughts too seriously. That's something new that I learned, that I was like, yo, that's because like there's so many things that we want to do and we're always thinking about those things, and if we're not doing those things, we like kind of beat ourselves up a little bit. We're like, how come, that sucks that I didn't do. But if like a kid came up to you and like said like, you're a doo-doo head, you'd be like, what? Like you wouldn't take that comment seriously at all. So we know that we have the ability to not take what people say seriously. We just have to not take what we say to ourselves seriously sometimes. Because sometimes like it's just a more complex way of your brain just like, it's a good feeling, but it's also shouldn't be the only thoughts that you're having is like, man, why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing that? Like, instead of just focusing on like what you can do. And like,
Yeah, I totally completely feel what you're saying with that. Like I used to have a serious problem with, those kind of negative thoughts and like beating myself up and stuff. And it's exactly what you're saying. You have to have this kind of approach where you recognize that you are not your thoughts, and the things that you think are not necessarily true. Like, we all have like crazy, weird, intrusive thoughts. Like you see a guy standing at the edge of the street and you're like, yo, what if I push this guy into traffic right now? Like, there's no way you're going to do that. And sometimes you think about doing stuff that you should do. And then you don't do it, and it's so easy to just beat yourself up and feel guilty. But
man, I should have pushed that guy.
Of your life, man, I should have just went for it. I gotta live in the moment more.
My days
I relate,
Oh,
Patrick. It's funny because I always like imagine the scenario, because you guys know me, I'm just such like a chill guy, and like in my mind to entertain myself, it's just like I think about what if I just snapped, and like it's more like thinking about everybody's reaction.
Yeah. That's what I love about your Facebook posts, because your Facebook posts are wild.
Yeah, that's it. That comes from that same part of the brain.
Yeah,
like type one of those in.
What if I snapped?
Yeah.
I just let
That's
loose.
me experimenting with that side of the brain.
Sean, you're on Twitter, yeah?
Yes,
so, like,
I am.
Do you put as you, or just as the Creative Imbalance?
As me. I have one for the Creative Imbalance, but like nobody's there, so I usually just post like episodes and then I retweet it from mine after that.
Because like, do you put your Facebook posts on Twitter?
Sometimes there isn't enough characters on Twitter, like
right
to get the punchline down.
Fuckers,
like it
man.
needs the extra like 2 more words or whatever. There's been times I tried and it's just like I'm trying to like delete words and I'm like, oh my god, I'm taking so much time on this silly fucking thought that one person's gonna like.
So positive. Like I would think stuff like that would go viral, but then I remembered it's Twitter and it's the complete opposite of positivity.
Yeah,
actually, I feel like I have a really good Twitter experience, but from my friends, like I know who are like YouTube personalities like yourselves, people in the battle rap scene, people in the pro wrestling scene. Twitter is like the darkest fucking place, and it seems like there's people who are considered fans of this stuff and like follow everything, but they don't seem to enjoy what they're consuming, you know? They're just
I follow Facebook pages like that, of like wrestling Facebook pages, and they're all
wrestling
just like
Facebook's so toxic.
Oh, it's so
Just
toxic.
chirping.
I love just like being an observer though, and just going through it. And there's people just like
Bro.
AEW fucking sucks, and Tony Khan can blow me. And then there's people who are like WWE hasn't been good since the '90s. Like,
Man, and then you get the reply of like at their name, what are you talking about? It was great in this era. And then they reply, man,
Yeah.
that's like a rabbit hole. People talk about the TikTok rabbit hole. We got to talk about the Facebook comment rabbit hole. Just seeing people go back and forth, talk shit.
Oh man.
yo, and it's like long
just as
comments
bad on
too. It's
Instagram.
never short comments.
Paragraphs, bro. Like paragraphs.
Hey everybody, Johnny here. Just want to take a quick second to thank our newest Patreon subscriber, CLB. I appreciate your support, and because you are subscribed to the show for just $1 a month, you're getting this episode before anyone else. If you want to be cool like CLB, head to patreon.com/TheJohnnyRogers and join in on the fun. All right, now back to the episode.
And then it always ends with like an insult. Like I'm sure your kids would be real proud, like looking at the profile picture with their kids every time, man. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sean,
they always go search the profile. for
Facebook
something to
always goes
criticize.
personal with that shit.
Always,
Twitter's kind of like mid with like taking it too far, because you can only fit so many characters in there. You can't like attach images and shit. But
So many of them are meme accounts on Twitter
yeah, the GIF replies on Twitter replies though are the best. Like someone just replies
down.
with a GIF
Perfect,
for a
dude.
meme.
Yeah. Even like you see the replies too, and it's always some faceless motherfucker, you know?
That
And
fucking egg.
yeah, I don't want to put like this private conversation I had with somebody on blast, but it was somebody we used to work with at Most Amazing. But again, like you guys know this, like going on like reading comments and stuff like that. And this girl, she was pretty new at the time and just saw this one horrific fucking comment. And I basically like in the conversation was saying, hey, like, look how many more people actually enjoy this. Look how many views there are compared to comments. And it's like the views keep coming back. Like the true people who enjoy it, I know myself who I enjoy a lot of content, and I'm not commenting on every post. But to see this one like hateful person every day, like their opinions fucking doesn't mean shit. And plus they don't even have like their real name, their real face or whatever. It's just that what they're writing is almost a reflection of their own personal demons and stuff like that, to just take it out on like a random person like talking about the news or something, you know?
100%, man. Completely. Yeah.
Did you guys when you guys were all hosts on these channels, did you read the comments, or did you just get your stuff out there and just be like, fuck it, on to the next one?
Jared?
Okay, I get to start this one. When I first started, I definitely looked at the comments a lot. And then, I mean, again, part of the job was like, we got to do replies to comments. So sometimes I would have to go through the video for comments to take screenshots to reply in the videos. But for the most part, like the second it went up, I didn't really care. Sometimes if I felt the video was going to be controversial, I purposely wouldn't look at the comments, and then I would just out of curiosity. But then a lot of the times it would just be like, I like how you presented this so fairly, and you know what I mean? It's not, I thought it would be people just like coming at me for saying shit. But yeah, like something I came to terms with was like, again, the mean ones always sting more, but I'm like, I get so many nice ones. So I'm like, why do I focus on the mean ones? And why do I, with all due respect, as awful as it's gonna sound, why do I even care what I don't know any of them. They're all strangers. So why do I care a stranger's opinion of me? But also what you said of like, who, like, I don't think I've ever commented on a video ever. Maybe when I was like 12. Like I you know what I mean? So it's like you also got to think like who is sitting there typing this out and then hitting submit. You know what I mean? It's like a lot to do that.
Yeah.
So.
I just think this person's having a bad day. That's
Totally.
Or a bad life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Patrick, I can imagine some of the ones like you'd get on the comic book channel. Like you love one thing and then it just...
We should do raised hands.
yeah, we all talk at the same time.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to add on to what Jared was saying, you know, like if it's like, oh, why do I care what this person thinks? Like when I was doing videos and I would look at the comments and, you know, kind of skip the bad ones and focus on the good ones. And, you know, I try to like detach myself from it, but I like what Jared said about like why do I care what this person thinks of me? It's like, if you were a comedian on stage and you see somebody in the audience who didn't laugh at that joke, and like, 90% of the audience is laughing, are you going to be like, yo, what, you don't think I'm funny? Like, you're not going to get all bent out of shape. You're just like, excuse me, you, sir. Yeah, you got a problem?
Dude, the last show that I was hosting, there was a lady right to my right, and I could see her out of my peripheral, because I like to like go, when I'm telling my jokes, I like to go like start at the left side, and I look at the people on the left, I look at the people in the center, I look at the people on the right, and then I deliver the punchline staring through to the back of the room. Or I'll look at a person and stare at them and do the punchline. Like, I just have that kind of way of presenting. But I could keep seeing her out of the corner of my eye. She's sitting there, just arms folded in the front row. I'm like, I didn't seat you there. You sat there. You knew there was going to be a show happening. It's sold out. And everybody's laughing because I'm just opening the show, right? So I'm just like talking, and there's like giggles starting, and the show's kind of like building. And then I started doing like some crowd work with one of the guys that was like at the back of the room, and like kind of asking him questions. But it was a small room too, like maybe 55 people. And I'm like talking to him in the back of the room, and I like said something like I asked him like, who here has quit a job or is like quitting a job? And he was like, oh, me, I used to be like a janitor, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked right at that lady, and I was like, he can't be a janitor because he can't work with kids. Like, it was just something so stupid. Funnier than that, obviously. Just bombed on my own podcast.
I mean, I thought it was kind of funny.
She didn't even laugh. She just kind of like smirked, and I was like, I got her. like I made it like obvious that I was only trying to just like crack this lady the whole time. But it's just like, it made it so much more fun. But you get times like that too, where there's some comedians the problem with comedy and when you're on stage is like, you're so hyper aware of everything that's happening in front of you. And the people at the back of the room can't see the facial expressions that people in the front row are making. They just see the back of their head. So if they're watching from the back of the show and they just see the comedian snap on the guy in the front row, you're like, yo, what's this guy's problem? Why is he like yelling at the audience member? You immediately turn on him. So
you look like the bad guy.
You look like the bad guy, which is where you don't want to be. So the thing apparently to do is just to, and what's worked for me in the past as well, is like, I always would just wait until they're like, usually except for this lady, but I would wait for them to be too much of a problem, to the point where people around them are looking and being like, yo, why won't this person shut the fuck up? Or like, why are they on their phone? When other people start noticing, then I have license to go in. Because now I have like defenders. I have people who are like, no, she was talking the whole time. The worst case I've ever heard of this, I can't remember who the comedian was, but there was somebody in the front row who's like really close to the stage. And the guy was just going, fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking suck. And he's just
no way,
and no one can hear him, and he's doing he was Pepe. He was doing his bits, and he was trying to keep in character, and he's doing it, and he's like looking around, and there's this guy right here, right in front of him, like, you fucking suck, you're terrible at comedy.
Oh my god,
I would kick that guy's drink over. He just wanted to be a little shit. Some people just like to watch the world burn,
man. Yeah, holy shit, man. Well, that's someone that comments shit on YouTube, bro. That's the kind of person.
Yeah,
100%.
You know what's funny? The whole negative comments thing, like, for some people, it can make or break you. You don't even want to do it anymore. But I always love the Gary Vee thing. He talks about how when you get these negative comments, you got to deploy compassion, and you got to like think, this person has got to be having such a bad day or whatever to come onto my page and see my content and then say something negative. And so his whole thing is like, you be kind to those people and stuff, and you show the better side, turn the other cheek, however you want to put it. And I've always admired that, but I've always thought, man, that's got to be tough. Like, you're already like, like, just to be like composed enough, especially when you think of some like savage comeback, you want to say, I'm going to get this guy.
It's almost easier to not give a shit, but I've seen that work really well before too. Like I've responded to a negative comment before, just being like, they were like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, like unsub, like some shit like that. And I just commented like, thanks for the view or thanks for watching, like smiley face emoji.
Yeah.
And they responded
always-
to that being like, oh my God, I didn't think you'd reply.
I always do that with my dumb Facebook statuses when somebody doesn't take a joke and like kind of treats it as like a statement, even though it's
Superman?
obviously like sarcastic or whatever. Like they just start going in with like a big paragraph, and I just fucking respond with so much love. It's like, oh, I hope you have a wonderful day, or smiley face.
The heart with the smaller heart
Yeah.
next to it.
Kill him with
And then they get
kindness, bro.
ratioed, you know, like I get like
All the likes and the
Yeah.
the loves.
Is
the
that what
love-
it's called?
love-
When you get ratio, bitch? I always see that on Twitter.
Totally.
It's
Oh,
funnier
the
when
ratio
it doesn't work. Like someone
Yeah.
says, get ratio, and it's 2
Yeah.
likes. You're like, mm-mm. That was a dive that turned into a face plant.
Yeah. That's funny. The world we live in, like, just like
Come to.
15 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about getting ratioed and just putting your
Dude,
stuff out.
15 years ago, I don't know if this was
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
not. I think about that all the time. It's like, what, man? How come I didn't start a podcast sooner? Oh yeah, I didn't have the technology.
Like,
I mean, I did, but it was crazy expensive, and I had no idea like what I was doing, what equipment to buy, like where to start, like at all. And now
Yo,
it's
those
just it was
kinda-
so easy.
That kind of idea blows my mind sometimes, to think like, if I could travel back in time and tell the version of me that would play video games in
Yeah.
the basement in high school that this could be a full-time job. Like it's just crazy to think the different approach that you would have taken. Like who
Oh,
could have
yeah.
predicted where we were going to end up, you know, like
Literally
virtual
all the stuff
reality and all this. It's
Our parents
crazy.
told us not to do. Became
Mhm.
strict.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Don't smoke weed. It rots your brain. $1 billion industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
$1 billion
Don't play
dollars.
too much video games.
Oh
Make
my
Some
video
God.
people are like
Actually,
fucking having
yeah,
24-hour streams and making like a fucking couple thousand just
That kid who
chilling
won the
on-
Fortnite tournament, he won like $3 million. He's like 14
Yeah.
years old. Like, and they
bro,
played
what do
it
you
in a
do with that
stadium.
much money at forget being, what do you do with that much money at all? But like, imagine being 13.
Never work again. That's what you do.
Like,
that
what do
kid,
you-
no, that kid's gonna grow up troubled, man. He's-
Yeah.
Like,
He's got
Yeah, I mean, if
fentanyl
you're
addiction.
smart, you just invest it and never have to
Yeah.
work. But the thing is, I think when you're that young, there's all kinds of like, I guess it depends on where you live, but there's stipulations, right? Like your parents would have to
Yeah.
put in a trust for you or whatever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah they're not
Hopefully
just
they would
gonna
just
let
keep
some
doing kid
14-year-old
stuff,
have
right?
$3
Like,
million.
you know,
yeah,
14
bro,
years
if
old,
it's the US, they would just give them the money and just be like, it's yours now. Like,
It
it's
might-
Hey,
it
legal
go buy
right,
some
so
guns.
Yeah, I was
Literally.
just gonna say.
They're like,
He
if you
rolls
wanna
up to
go
Walmart and
Vegas-
buys an artillery.
you want to go to Vegas and do fuck hookers and do coke? By all means, it's legal there. So this is America.
Yeah, and this is
Christ.
why child stars like grow up to be all troubled. Actually, the
Yeah,
other year I
man.
listened to a podcast with Macaulay Culkin, and he seems like nowadays the most normal out of the
Yeah.
childhood people who got famous.
Took
But
him a
it was
bit,
all
but-
because he hit a certain age and he realized that he's missing out on life, and he moved to like France or some shit where nobody like really stopped him in the street, and went to like college and just had a normal life. That's why there's like this huge gap, and still like him not doing like movies and stuff, and he just started having like a normal life after having such a fucked up childhood of just being like in the
That's dark.
spotlight, and like
Yeah.
it's kind of like reset himself and like grounded him as a person, which I thought was super interesting.
Yeah, but he still had like a shitload of money.
Oh yeah, true. He's still getting those Home Alone checks, man.
You know what I mean? So, but
The
no, I get what you're
weirdest m-
saying. I respect that, man. That's like, I feel like it's important to have a normal life. You know?
Yeah.
At least a sense of normalcy. Like you can't. I mean, God, I can't even imagine like what some of these celebrities, just like how they view the world.
Yeah.
You know, they have a completely different lens. If you're fucking Justin Bieber, you have a completely different lens of the world than anyone else. You made $20 million by the time you're like 22 or something. And you've been around the world. Every time you walk into a stadium of 30,000 people, they're screaming so loud that you can't even hear your band while you're like, it's like the Beatles. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like he had to find God. You know what I
It's
mean? Like
literally
that's his sense of
You got to
normalcy.
do something.
You gotta do something normal.
buddy, it is literally got to be impossible for him or somebody in that situation to relate to the average person. He doesn't know about
Oh,
doing the
dude.
dishes after dinner and vacuuming every weekend and shit like that. Like the average person's experience is so far removed from that stuff, like having to file your own taxes and mow your own lawn and stuff. Like the things that like a normal person cares about, like
Yeah.
he would be like, what? Like, why would I even want to do that? Meanwhile, you got people who love nothing more than a riding lawnmower with no shirt on, drinking a beer.
Yeah. That's that's a great Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
hell
like you
yeah.
were saying
Really?
about you were saying a sense of normalcy is important. Like I think that's why people find it so hard to be on tour. Comedians and musicians and stuff. Like the longer the tour goes on, the more that you're just completely worn down, like physically and mentally. You're not sleeping, you're traveling all the time.
100%.
Like we all know traveling sucks, and imagine doing that and then performing all the time. Like, dude, you'd be so burnt out.
Some of them don't even know what city they're in anymore because they like go to sleep on the tour bus and wake up and they're in a completely different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like a late night host. Like I saw this interview with, I think it was like Jimmy Fallon or somebody who was just talking about the late night circuit and explaining like a day in my life. And it's like, I wake up at 2 p.m. and everything, I start to get ready for the night's show. And it's just like endless circuit of day after day. Your whole life revolves around this like 10 p.m. slot.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I went to Jimmy Kimmel Live and it was like soul crushing to watch.
Oh man.
Why?
That sucks.
It sucked. Like it was like bad. Like he had his like little like fun segments at the beginning where he's getting to do some comedy and you could tell that he enjoyed that. But then they're like, all right, Jimmy, we need you to cut like the commercial ads. And then he just like turns to another camera. And for like 10 minutes straight, he had to be like, hey everybody in like Michigan, it's Jimmy Kimmel. Like don't forget to tune in at blah 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 this time. And then he go,
next city.
and then he's like, hey everybody, it's Jimmy Kimmel. Like, and he had to do that for like 20 different states.
Yeah.
You think they could just use
Wisconsin
deepfake or something for
yeah,
that shit, eh?
Literally.
If I had late night money, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be like, buy a fucking deep fake machine, do the shit.
Get a full 3D model
like
and just
Keanu
put on
Reeves.
Stage.
That shit is
Yeah, buddy.
crazy. Like, have you seen the Tom Cruise guy that does the deep fakes?
Yeah, bro.
That guy
That's
is
something
wild.
else.
Tom Cruise deep fakes are something else. I wonder if I could pull that up. Vamp.
No, like it's weird, bro. How much it looks like him, it's fucking weird. A little concerning. So it's like,
Yeah, just a little bit, because they're gonna do this with like dead presidents.
Dude,
he didn't really die.
That technology is bad news. Like,
well,
it's so
even,
scary.
even just like the idea of like, oh, there's a video of you saying this or a video of you doing this. It's like, I didn't do that. I mean, there is a video of you doing it, but it's not you. It's a deep fake, but it's so good that it looks like you. And it's like, how are you going to defend yourself is on video.
And if
Oh, man,
you've
you
talked
could-
long enough on the internet and your voice is out there, they could just piece together sentences,
Bro.
make you say whatever they want.
Especially where we used to work, man. I can't imagine the shit we used to say on
They got a
camera.
bank.
God.
They got a
Yeah.
bank. Look at this.
Yeah, this is so
crazy.
it's so weird, bro.
Can you hear it or no?
No.
I always have that issue with Zoom. Sorry to the audience. Just a moment. Let me figure it out. Sharing sound. Nope, stereo. All right, tell me now. Can you now?
Now we can
Yeah.
hear.
All right.
Yeah.
He's got the voice down.
Wow.
It's unreal. Like the fact that this guy just has a TikTok account and he's doing this. He's not like some.
Yeah.
This feels like military technology.
Like,
Oh,
but it's
man.
crazy. That's what I mean, man. It's like, and people thinking it is Tom Cruise for good reason. It looks just like it. If you didn't know what
Yeah,
deepfaking
just
was,
like
bro, what do you mean?
It's a
Of course
scary
him.
piece of technology, man. You could use that to like you could frame somebody for like a bank robbery.
Oh,
just
let's
by
come up with
sticking
the
their
best
face
ways
in
to
there.
use deepfake for evil.
Yeah.
I mean, what good could he use with it?
You could frame someone for cheating. You could be
Nice.
I
like
mean, you could frame somebody for like anything, arson, murder,
anything.
you know,
Sky's
really
the
whatever you
limit.
wanted. Yeah.
Open up that criminal code, whatever you want.
You could really mess somebody up psychologically. Like if you deep faked video footage of, say, their girlfriend and called them in a video call, and then we're like, I'm breaking up with you and stuff and all this shit. And then he's like freaking out, like, what did I
Or
do?
like a dead relative, like, I faked my death, don't tell the family. I'm in
It was because
Cabo.
of you.
And it was
Oh my
because
God.
of you.
Yeah.
Yo, like, what the?
Oh man.
Yeah,
And then on top of that, they have
deepfake-
holograms. They have like fucking holograms now too, like good holograms. We're gonna have Michael Jackson performing at like Super Bowl 100, and he's gonna be like, "I love Pepsi. Pepsi's the greatest." It's Michael Jackson. He's moonwalking while he's talking about his sponsors.
Oh man.
It's a dystopian nightmare.
Yeah.
Let
There's
them die.
there's this battle rapper who's like, for a while he was like the biggest troll in the most calculated fucking ways, to the point where it got him on the mainstream level like a bunch of times. And it was right when Drake was feuding with was it Meek? I think
Meek Mill, yeah.
Pusha
So-
T, I think he also feuded with.
Yeah, so
I think
he
Meek
like
was the
he
big one.
always capitalizes on like events like this, but like in the most like evil genius way. So that was going on, and Drake hasn't responded yet. So he stayed up like all night. Like this guy can also produce like pro quality tracks. He found like some Drake impersonator, paid him like hundreds of bucks to. He's like, hey man, just say this. It was like the hook. And he fucking posted it the next day as like a response in like under 24 hours. So it was like Drake featuring his name, Daylight, the response or whatever. And this thing blew up. It sounded so much like Drake. And like, so apparently Drake messages him and he's like, bro, I'm not even mad, but just how? like how did this? Because so he ended up like giving the guy like the contact of like the fake impersonator and stuff.
That is crazy.
But yeah, just like easy million views. And this guy would do like calculated like troll shit like that all the time. And like it got him out of like the niche battle rap world and into like mainstream like hip hop too, which is in some in like distasteful ways too. Like people love or hate him. Like the day like Paul Walker passed away, he made like a track that was like a lazy like hip hop track. It was just like drive fast, Paul Walker, hit the gas, Paul Walker. And then he made a music video because he's like got all this green screen technology. And it's like in the music video, he's in the passenger seat of the Fast Furious, just like rapping and like, and so like people like are either like, yo, this is the coldest shit. Like, why would you do this? But also like he's getting all these views in his name.
Right. The engagement is probably
And
crazy.
there are other people out there who like love to see people just get riled up and upset, and then they just add that fuel to the fire. Like, good,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
glad he's gone. I'm playing this as my alarm clock.
Yeah. And
I
then,
never liked that guy.
Yeah. And then he also has his quality tracks on the side. So like these lazy tracks actually get like more like views than anything because of the shock value, but it also trickles him to like getting new people and making money. And it's like it's a whole fucking racket he has of trolling that's selling merch. And this is it's so
That's how
interesting.
Doja Cat blew up too. Is She was doing all this like not serious music, but like pop music that she wanted to do, and then she made like a meme song, "Bitch I'm a Cow," which she knew the whole thing was like a meme. She had like French fries in her nose, like she was just being stupid for the sake of being stupid, and it like exploded, like completely viral. She's got like record deals, like all of a sudden she's a touring. She's at award shows, winning awards. People were like, yeah, okay, you're in, you made it. Like,
Yeah, it's always the
You do whatever you
dumbest
want
shit
now.
that fucking blows up.
Unbelievable, bro.
Yeah, it's because everybody jumps online and it's like, yo, I hate this. And it's like, you're just
Yeah.
giving it engagement, you know?
Yeah, and you guys know how it works too. It's like good comment or bad comment,
Yeah.
like YouTube like pushes it forward. And that's
Yeah,
why lots of people
Facebook
like
is so
ask me, it's
lethal.
like, why does everybody say
Bro.
like, comment, subscribe? It's not even because like they give a fuck. It's because it's just gonna push it to the front, you know, like every comment, like
Totally.
so you repeat that that saying over and over, like everybody with a channel, and yeah, it actually
Well, it's like
helps.
you even see people on like Instagram and stuff like posting shit that just intentionally has like spelling mistakes and errors and stuff because everybody's gonna hop in the comments and be like, actually, it's this. It works though, and it's like, oh, guys, come on! Like
Yeah.
every time we see it, every time.
Yeah, people still haven't caught on yet. I don't know. It's amazing. You think, I mean, maybe it's just because we're basically like children of the internet. Like
Right.
we came into the internet as like a phase where it was like we watched it. We watched the fucking internet start from nothing, from literally like to a handful of websites that you would go to now like 4 or 5 social media platforms that we just go over again and again and again and again. And it's like, we understand it, but then you talk to your parents who are on it and you're like, oh, this is still like a new technology to you, even though it's been out for like 20 years. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're still like, how do I make a post? Like, now if I post on your wall,
Oh,
like,
man.
they're still getting through like the semantics. Like, you're like, oh,
That's what I find
we're shit posting now. Like,
so interesting is like we grew up with it, like the evolution of like social media. Like, you know, I remember like the MSN days, and then like AIM
Yeah.
and fucking all that shit. You know what I mean? And
ICQ,
then, like,
baby.
Yeah, ICQ. I was gonna say ICQ, but that's really dates how much older I am.
Dude, I remember my first ICQ account. It was like a babysitter that made it for me. And I was like, yo, I can just go on this room and chat in here. And she's like, yeah, here, I made you an email. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it was like the beginning. You couldn't even put a profile picture on it, and they gave you like a phone number. Like,
Wow.
it was pretty
Sean got
interesting.
really devious there.
Oh man, yeah. You're bringing back all these old memories. You know what's crazy too? I have this really old memory. I was probably like 6 years old. This is like, so I was born in 85, and I'm trying to put the date like before. This is like pre-internet shit, but I remember playing like Mike Tyson's Punch Out on the NES and thinking how cool it would be if the person, like the AI I was fighting, was somebody like on the other side. This is like before online gaming. But like I remember in my head as a kid imagining it was going through like the electrical wire, you know, like no concept of like what internet is or whatever. And yeah, so I pretty much at like 5 years old, I invented online gaming. I just couldn't like execute it.
Articulate it. Yeah.
I was the first one, guys.
hey man,
Yo.
you know they have the saying of like, what is it, like the 100 monkey syndrome or something like that? Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like the 100 monkeys locked in a room with typewriters that eventually make Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's like, but like it was something like,
What a
it was
wild
actually in acting
statement.
school. I gotta look this up, but it was something like if
You haven't met a monkey in your life if you believe that.
it's like if a monkey on the other side of the world.
They're smart
had,
enough
like,
to pick
peel
up
a
a cup
banana.
or put shit in their hands and throw it at you. With a
Shakespeare,
typewriter,
come
they'd
on now.
smash that typewriter to bits. Start eating the paper. What's crazy is when you look at the some of the ape tribes that they're like still like observing, and they start using tools, and you're like, oh, we're fucked. Like these guys, they're using tools now. That's what we got to be worried about. Them making a spear and just coming into cities like fucking Planet of the Apes. That's how this all
We're
ends.
just all on Zoom calls.
Gorillas are
Yeah, we're just too
like,
busy on Zoom calls.
not to take Rogan's thunder, but gorillas are fucked, man. You see what those things look like? They are just like
An alien.
Yo, show us your Rogan gorilla imitation.
yeah, it's the
Wait, I actually have the perfect
You
background.
guys
for
know the
this.
clip I'm talking
the
about.
eyes when he gets the eyebrows up. I can't do it. Wow, there it is. That's it. You gotta get the mouth.
Can I
too,
get
the
behind
mouth.
it? Wait, I gotta go on this side. There
Yeah,
we go.
the
Now
Johnny
say,
Rogers
now
experience.
say, yo, Jamie, pull this up.
No, Jamie, pull that shit up. Virtual backgrounds are the best.
Holy crap.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I should have had some queued up next time, boys.
I really want to get a soundboard. That's how we take this thing to the next level.
Oh, God.
Dude.
Just to have drops at certain moments.
Oh,
Pew,
man.
pew, pew.
Yeah. Dude, it just makes for such a much more like entertaining like listen. Like a lot of my favorite podcasts that have like sound drops, and it's funny because the sound drops are like the bonfire, for example. The sound drops are from like old episodes that they've just like collected along the way, and then every now and again they'll just drop them into new episodes. So you're getting this perfect like ecosystem of like joining that like culture that they're creating on the show. It's so interesting.
Yeah, I started listening to Be Real of Cypress Hill podcast. He does like a YouTube show. It's like 3 times a week, and if he's on tour, he gets his buddies in. But it's like that too. It's just like a bunch of dudes just sitting around smoking. But the soundboard is just jokes from other shit they've said, and it just turned like it took me a while to get into it. Like a couple episodes, I'm like, did he just say that right now, like randomly? But no, it's just like little classic snippets and stuff like that.
It's the best when you can't even tell.
Yeah,
when it just sounds like they just said that in the moment, because it's such a perfect like moment or something they would say to that. You have to listen to The Bonfire though. That show makes me laugh so fucking hard. It's Big J Okerson and Dan Soder, but like they have all of their like producers also have like microphones. So they're like, it's mostly Dan and Jay that are going back and forth either by themselves or like with a guest. But like everybody else is just like such a personality and they're never even really on camera. And like, but they have their own drops too. Like it's just so good. Highly recommend. What podcast do you guys recommend?
Honestly, man, I've been listening to these acting podcasts lately, so I don't think anybody really gives a shit about them.
The 100 Monkeys.
Yeah, I've been
Theory.
listening to some wrestling ones. It's like just my own niche fucking.
I believe that if you put 100 monkeys in a room, they'd start a podcast, or at least 2 of them.
100%,
yeah. I like your response to like as he was explaining the whole gist of 100 monkeys. I was like, have you met a monkey? I was like, cut it off.
Oh,
They'd be eating the paper and
Holy crap.
No, hear me out. No.
Jared's like, no,
Smash
I'm
that
good.
typewriter.
Oh, shit.
Oh, jeez.
I haven't even been keeping track of time. I think we're coming up to an hour here.
Yeah, just about.
All right.
Is that how you
wrapping
like to
this
keep
bitch
it?
up.
An hour or
Yeah,
so?
I like to keep it about an hour so that
Yeah.
they're all pretty much the same.
Do I got time to tell you about how this hooker rolled up on me on a moped the other day?
Always.
Yes. Even if we stop recording, you definitely have time for that.
I was waiting to segue into it somehow, but it's just like couldn't.
We're leaving it
This is
in.
a perfect segue.
Yeah,
This is a
you know what we
perfect
should do
segue.
the next time that we do the Four Northmen, like if we have topics or shit that we want to talk about, we should drop it into like a document and then we'll know to like go to those things. Like, Sean, didn't you
Yeah.
have an interesting story about
some crack whore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, I was downtown. This blew my fucking mind. I was like so impressed. So I was downtown. I was at my friend's show. I'm actually drinking out of her mug. Shout out to Saber. Follow Saber the
The
artist.
Crackheads mug?
No, this isn't the Crackheads
Oh.
mug. This is
I'm actually drinking
So-
out of her mug. I'm like, you robbed
yeah.
the crackhead?
yeah. This is prior to the Crackhead. So I went to the show.
Okay.
Wait, you gotta finish
downtown.
plugging the mug.
Yeah.
So Saber the artist on Instagram, wonderful musician, singer, songwriter in a million projects, and my favorite mug. Look at, she's opening her third eye. I used to drink mushroom tea out of this mug specifically because of that. But much
Trip
love.
the fuck out.
So I go see your set downtown. It's a wonderful set. I have a great time. But I'm also in like the sketchy area of town. So like if you guys know Toronto, but for other people side of it, I was a little south of Dundas, kind of closer to Sherbourne. You know what I mean?
So,
A little
yeah.
too far east, eh?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
like
kind
shooter,
of
shooter area, or
yeah. Go right on. Yeah.
Ooh,
Shoot.
once he hits shooter Sherbourne, it's over.
Yeah. No, it was there. It was there.
You're about to have a
So
bad
I'm kind
day.
of like zigzagging through all these like little back streets and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, like I go to like, I think this was calculated because it was like kind of like a darker part of like this side street that I've never been on in my life. And this chick just rolls up on this fucking moped looking rough as hell, just total crack whore, just stir. She's like, hey, you want to fuck me? Oh, I'm joking. And then I just paused and I'm like, it like broke my brain, like computing. And I'm just like smiling. I'm like, no, thank you. And then she just like rolls away. And like, did that just fucking happen? And at the same time, I was like, yo, I respect that hustle. She's probably just doing laps and like asking people. And if like there's like a cop or something, she can just like speed away and like
Pull up.
zigzag. But then I'm also thinking it's like, so say if
Hooker
I
on
said,
wheels.
okay, yeah, let's do this. Was it like, did she want to
I
just
set up.
do it in that alley, or do I hop on the back of her moped like romantically and
man.
like she takes me away to her like whore
Oh,
lair
bro,
or wherever?
you're giving her too much
Or
credit.
later.
It's right then and there, bro.
It's
There's-
right there, yeah.
Because it seemed
just
like it was
bends over the
calculated
moped?
on that street.
Oh
But,
my
like,
god. It'd be funny
Yeah,
if you
so
heard her
I'm
in the
impressed.
distance, like, "Doing a bugger."
So was so be honest, bro. Be honest. Was there like a moment there, maybe 1 to 5 seconds, where you were thinking like, maybe like, what if?
I could find out how much.
You know what?
Get a quote. Let
Not
me
at
get a
the
quote.
moment. I smiled. I said, no, thank you, all nervously. But then after I'm like, was thinking about like how impressive that was. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should have gave her that sale. Like, whatever. Like,
Just because you respect the hustle so
Cat,
much.
do I have
yeah,
on
I
me?
can't knock the hustle. She's just
Yeah,
out there
oh,
trying
man.
to fucking make a living, you know?
Dude, that was always the best when I did sales and I do like a really good pitch and the person's like, yeah. And they go, well, I'm not gonna buy anything today, but that was a really good pitch. And then they just close their door in your face. Just
Yeah.
like that.
I'm sure
Thank
that's
you for
like
the-
more
thank you
often
for
than
the
not.
confidence boost, but
Yeah.
sales.
I need the money.
Mhm.
Before I get up front, does anyone else have any hooker on wheels stories? Jared's like, I'm
Oh.
searching.
Trying to think. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that takes the cake. Oh, I said it to you guys. I wanted to share this too because I just I keep this video now lives rent free in my head, but I feel like we should do idiot of the episode.
Hell yeah. Oh, that was her. Go back. That happened so fast.
Did you watch it?
It
I don't want
happened
to
so
get
fast.
I didn't want to
I
get
did a-
copyright. Did you watch that whole
Oh.
video?
I did a reaction video to it before, like
You
back
did?
on the channels back in the day. So
Oh
when
my
I saw it, I knew
God.
right away what happened.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
god,
man, people are fucking stupid.
dude!
So what was the
dying.
scenario again? She like stole and was like going through the ceiling or something? Or?
She tried to like get away from the police when they were coming in, and then she goes into the back room and she sees like an open vent, and then she starts climbing into the vent, I guess to hide. But then the vent breaks
Yeah.
open and she just falls.
Fell through the roof, like through the ceiling rather.
Fucking
onto
Splinter
merchandise.
Cell shit.
The cops were already arrested her boyfriend, and they just grabbed her too.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I never laughed
like,
so
how
hard in
do
my
you-
life.
Like, imagine being a store owner and just calling your insurance company, like, "Hey, I gotta file a claim. So I steal something," and then they went into the vents, and then they fell through the ceiling. So I need that fixed.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Like,
day at the
am I
insurance
covered?
office.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're like, finally, we get to cash in.
Like, fuck, man.
You think they had to send that video to their insurance company?
100%.
I bet
Like,
their
I have
insurance
video
company
evidence.
saw it before. Don't we insure that property? Fuck.
That's something I don't often think about when you see like video of all like this chaos, like the story they got to tell the insurance company of like this
Man.
shit happening.
Dude, that's like the storms right now all over the US. You just see like a whole area with like houses floating away, and you're like, this is gonna be a fucking nightmare for insurance companies.
Yeah.
Like a goddamn huge monetary loss.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter there was just this giant manatee like in a suburb, like in the middle, just like hopping. It looked like a fucking monster though, and like lots of like half the comments were like making jokes. Like imagine like walking home at night and be like, "What the fuck?" Like this fucking bloodborne monster like hopping around. But then
Yeah,
the
dude.
other
There's, like,
half of the comments are like, "Oh my
alligators.
god, you must save!" Well, they ended up saving it, but everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta save it. No, it's fine. He's
Yeah,
going to
I
Starbucks.
guess it just got washed so far on shore. It's like in like a residential area, just hopping around.
Manatee just stays. He just likes
Yeah.
the neighborhood.
Yeah, it was a big motherfucker too.
All the
Yeah, I'm
neighbors are
looking
like,
on-
I'm sick of these manatees moving in here and fucking taking all our jobs.
I'm looking on Twitter. Like I haven't really been keeping up to date with the hurricane because, like, as awful as it is, like ignorance is kind of bliss. I'm like, I just don't want to see it. I just don't want to.
Yeah,
Because what's me seeing it gonna do? How is that gonna help anything?
I'm trying to
You know
write
what
a
I mean?
bit about this, about how we should stop
Yeah.
sharing celebrity deaths. No more. I don't want to hear when a celebrity dies. Don't tell me anymore. I'll find out on my own through somebody
He's
else.
still alive to me.
Like I
You're
saw
at a Coolio concert and nobody's there. I bought these tickets last year.
Oh boy.
I've been spending most of
Oh boy.
Rest in peace, Coolio.
Yo, but that was the exact one. I found out Coolio died, and I was like, what do I do with this information? My girlfriend's like having a good time. She's like chilling, and I was like, hey, babe, do you know Coolio? She's like, yeah. I was like, he's dead. I was like,
Just
she's
ruins
like,
their night.
why would you tell me that? I was like, I had to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
Someone else had to find out.
Yeah.
I had to pass his curse on.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Jared, me and you used to always have this conversation because like I met you guys when like we were working in the middle of the pandemic too. And like we'd have days where just like, yeah, we're just not fucking thinking about it, you know? It was still that unknown, scary area too. And
Dude.
I don't know.
Pretend it's
like
not happening.
yeah, but we had this talk where like you can get too deep into like catching up with every news, and I guess like it's good to be informed, but also like it's you can start like just falling into a depression of
Rabbit
like,
hole, dude.
hopelessness
It
and
goes
just,
fucking deep, man.
yeah. So sometimes you just have to like look around at your situation right now, and like obviously you're gonna feel bad for people in rougher situations, but as the day I was thinking about it was just me and Jared getting a coffee and a sandwich, and we're like, you know what, right now, like where we are, this is a good time. This is a good time, you know, like let's like stop crying for a minute and fucking just enjoy this time, you know. And like I feel like every time I had a coffee with you, we always go down like
yeah, bro.
life philosophy and shit like that.
We gotta get together in person. Patty,
Hell yeah.
come, Johnny, if you want to drive a couple
For sure,
hours.
dude.
book a megabus or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
I'll bring the boys up to me or with me in November when I go shoot the next battle rap.
Do it.
Yo,
Yeah,
you know,
awesome.
you know what I think? I think the thing with that whole idea is like, there's this thing, I can't remember the name of it, but people who work in the healthcare industry, like doctors and nurses and stuff, they can have this thing. It's like empathy fatigue or something. And basically, you know, when you're like caring for people all the time, your capacity for sympathy can just be completely drained.
Yeah, man.
And if you're looking at like negative news and stuff all the time, or even just for 2 hours in the morning, like you're just going to be more drained in terms of like your ability to be empathetic. And that's obviously going to turn you into a crappier, more negative and callous person, right? Like, sure, like Sean was saying, we should be informed, but you know, there's a certain amount, and I'm completely with Jared. Like, I don't like to see, you know, people's houses floating away and all of this stuff. It's like there's a lot of tragedies happening all the time, and you could really easily get
some of those
pretty
hood
bummed
site
out.
videos. You're like, damn, did I just watch somebody die?
Dude, yeah.
You're like,
Yeah,
what the
Those
fuck?
like
bro.
the street fights rabbit
So
hole.
wild.
That's a
the
dark
street
place,
fight.
man.
No,
That's
the
a dark
worst.
place.
You know what? I unfollowed them for a while, and I followed them again. But on Twitter, Breaking 911, they're fucking ruthless, man. You guys
Oh,
follow them?
That's the
No,
same
I
thing
never
like
heard of it.
nature's.
I probably
Nature's
will now.
Metal.
Nature's Metal's crazy.
Nature's
too, bro.
Metal is
Just seeing a
another
fucking
gruesome one. You're like, I
seeing
can't
a
watch this in
zebra-
public. Like
seeing a
people will
zebra
be
just
like,
getting grabbed by like a cougar by the neck, and it's just dragging it, and you're just like,
The
fuck. This
craziest
is like
one
so
is
crazy, but
the maimed animals that are just walking away. Like there's like a deer with like half its face missing, and it's just like
Yeah.
walking, and you're like, yo, what?
My
You're like,
God, dude.
nature is fucking wild.
Yeah. Like
Dude,
I know that
it's
shit
crazy.
exists, but I can't like
I can't
take
see it
in
you don't
every
want
day.
to see it. Yeah, man. Fuck.
There's a limit.
Do you think animals are allergic to each other? Like I'm just thinking now, like bee stings and then like fish, and I'm like, does a bear get stung by a bee and have an allergic reaction? Is that a possibility?
I don't know. I think it's just because we're pussies.
I don't I don't think there's
Fair. That'd be
I don't think allergies existed pre 1990.
I don't think nature has the same like level of diversity as human beings, because we've created so many ways to stay alive despite all of this stuff. But in nature,
Right.
you just die. Like if
It
there
just
was a bear
happens,
that has
yeah.
Just
technology,
over.
it's not going to have any kids.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
bloodline is done.
good point.
And we're like eating nuts from Brazil and like strawberries from this place, and we're traveling to this
Oh,
place,
yeah.
and like our
And peaches
like
from
our
Georgia.
ecosystem is crazy. Yeah, we get
Yeah.
them peaches
And there's
now from
theories
Georgia.
that we're not
Justin
from
Bieber
here.
callback.
Right, Jared?
Yeah, hey man, this could all be a
Uh,
fucking alternate reality for all I know.
Yo,
Yo, it definitely is. If you look at any of those new like whatever Hubble telescope photos of the universe, you're like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
Yeah,
What is this? What am I
like
paying bills
literally,
for?
literally. Like
dude.
I think about how big, like even a house is compared to me, and I'm like a skyscraper. I'm like, it's big, but like really, let's compare it to like in the universe. This is like so minute. This is so nothing,
Nuts.
Bro.
and it makes me
Meaningless.
feel even smaller.
And I just learned off TikTok that we're not just like a little ball that like goes around the sun. We're actually like you know what? We're a square.
Square
It's all
Earth.
flat. It's
Yeah.
flat
No,
on
it's,
four
it's a
sides.
dome, dude.
The fucking triangle, bro.
Somebody said that. Somebody on TikTok was saying that the way it actually works is we're moving in one direction through the universe, going up and around the sun like this. So the sun
Yeah,
is my
buddy.
fist, and it's going like this, and the Earth is just going around it as it moves
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that direction.
Because the whole universe is expanding. I've seen the video that illustrates what you're talking about. It's crazy.
Fucked. Once you see that video, you're like, no, what? No.
Yeah. Every time I think about this, like I feel my heart rate get a little faster.
yeah.
Bro.
Just a little bit.
You're like, ooh, I'm alive.
It's like, ooh, what if we hit the end?
Just right into
They're
a wall.
like, there is no end. We don't fucking know that. We don't know anything.
Okay, what do you guys think about the sound the black hole makes? I'm like, is this? We're just taking their word for it. What is?
I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't trust it. Like,
I don't
Like,
wanna-
how is that a
like-
fact? Like,
It's just like we were saying earlier.
Somebody's
I try
just in
not to
their-
think about these things.
feels inconsequential to my life. You know what I mean?
It's not gonna
All right.
stress me out, man.
If someone was like, "This is what a squirrel sounds like," I'd be like, "Okay, I don't need to know that."
Yeah, yo, think of how many animal sounds you know, but you've never heard them in real life, bro. Maybe those
Mm.
animals don't even exist. Yo, dude,
Yeah.
yo,
Good
dig
possible.
this. Maybe one of us is even an NPC, bro.
Dude, there's a bet. There's a great.
You're the suspect because you got like
yeah,
digital
yeah.
glasses. Yeah, I can't even see your eyes, bro.
Yeah.
Takes them off. They're just white.
Yeah.
No, there's a great new Rick and Morty episode where it's all about that, about how like Morty starts playing a video game and he gets split into all of the characters in the video game. But to the characters in the video game, they just think that they're these people with these roles. And you're like, yo, this is such a crazy concept on like the idea of a simulation. Like it's just some kid that's playing an arcade game and he's split himself into 8 billion people living all the
Yo,
lives
that-
at once.
That's crazy, man. Have you guys seen the movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds?
No, but I was interested in
No.
it. And I was like, that looked pretty good.
It's kind
Yeah.
of like it's more like a kid's movie, but it's a similar concept. Like he's inside of a video game and he basically learns that he's an NPC in a video game, and the whole movie's kind of like, whatever. It's pretty much a classic Hollywood movie, but it was fun.
Lots of
But
rape.
it definitely nowhere near the metaphysical level you get from a Rick and Morty episode.
Right.
I'm gonna wrap this son bitch up, guys. Let me promote your Instagrams at The Creative Imbalance. Go follow Sean on that. At Phatriik, go follow Phatriik on Instagram, and at Bronst7. Do you guys have any
Yeah.
shout out? Any final part?
My podcast, which I'm horrible at posting.
Do it. It's a good vibe.
Yeah.
I just want to say I enjoyed this time together. And yeah, let's do it again.
Honestly, it's so nice. And boys, we should get together in person. I know Johnny, it's tough for you, but like if you actually come down for a weekend or a couple days,
Yeah,
grab
man.
a drink, man.
I want
grab
to.
something to eat.
I want to like plan a trip eventually. I have to go to Montreal for a week for work, so that's going to be exciting to get to do comedy in a new city.
Hell yeah.
It's been a
Hey.
while since I've been there, so it's going to be jazz. But I have like I had the owners of the Backroom Comedy Club on my podcast, and they were like, "Yeah, let us know when you're coming to Toronto, and we'll get you on." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So at least I know I'll have spots if I want to come up
Nice.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not that I have to do that.
totally agree with Sean. Like, great time. Love hanging with you guys. You should definitely get together, grab some beers or something. And Johnny, if you ever in town, you need a place to crash, like, you can hit my couch up for sure. Very
Sick.
comfortable couch here.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
That beats the hell out of paying for a Toronto hotel.
Yeah, buddy.
Plus, I get to hang with my buddy. All right, everybody, that's been the Johnny Rogers Show. Go follow us at the Johnny Rogers as well on the Johnny Rogers Show. It's all in the description. You know the deal. But until next time, everybody, peace.
See ya.
You've been listening to the Johnny Rogers Show. New episodes air every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.